Welcome to another episode of the blackening. Welcome to the blackening. This is going to be about the allies that and I put allies in quotations. The gentleman said this morning, I don't like that word. He said, I don't like the allies and I don't like the word either. But I like the juxtaposition of some things that happened this week so that we can put allies in both quotations and put them in context. I'm watching Morning Joe this morning, and I'm listening to a conversation that was going into the Senate's debate and rejection from the Democrats of the Republican proposal that spoke about police reform, which is ridiculous. The unions need to be disbanded, and let's just talk about if you're going to have police at all. Then it needs to be something that comes from the community, and designed by the community, and that's just only for the safety of the community. Right now, the police and the military are both doing the exact same job, one domestically, one internationally, and that's protecting the assets and resources of the rich. But I digress. I want to talk about the allies because I saw Tim Scott trotted out, and I do mean trotted out like a show pony, as the Republican standard bearer. And there are black people in South Carolina that probably think he's their ally because he's black. Nothing could be further from the truth. But it goes deeper than that because as they're having a conversation about the fact that the Democrats rejected it, and that proposal, which was ridiculous, it was toothless, it was meaningless, it was again, dog and pony show. They went into a conversation, and Mike Barnacle asked a question about why they were having such difficulties that were creating problems. And he started to explain, and then they shifted over to Reverend Al Sharpton. And Reverend Al Sharpton, while they're talking about police reform, shifted the conversation to the killings in Chicago that happened this weekend. Not about the police, but to that issue. He shifted. He totally took that conversation in another direction. And you people who venerate these individuals don't know the history of Al Sharpton and why he's been allowed to, with his non-talking self, to be on television every day. You don't understand why he's there. But he's a black man, he's a pastor, and has done some rotten things. But he's trotted out in front of us also, as if he's, a standard bearer for the black community, and he's doing good work for us. He's doing some work, but it ain't for us. And that better be recognized, because that was evident this morning. He shifted the conversation. Mike Barnacle shifted the conversation back away from police brutality. Away from the killings in Chicago and back to the root cause of the issues of what's creating the problems we're having in the first place. And Chuck Schumer didn't even know how to address that issue of the underlying problems. And Chuck Schumer, a lot of you people think that he's on our side. Not our side. Of course, he's not on black people's side at all. But you think that he's a Democrat. That he's... let me take that back. Some of you people think Democrats are on our side. Some of you think that the unions are on our side. And if you're black and you think a union is giving a damn about you, you better recognize I was a union member. And I got left out in the cold. The first time I asked the union to help me, I saw how they operate. We can't do anything for you. You've been paying dues, we can't do anything for you. And then I saw it this week. Let's just keep on going with that ally piece. Because you're sold that the unions are about the people. They're the ones who are backing us. Well, there are a whole bunch of union members who care about a lot of stuff. But the leadership of the unions don't give a damn about you, especially if you're black. They ain't never gave a damn about you. If you don't believe me, you better look up the fact that A. Philip Randolph couldn't get the Pullman Porters into the unions. The fact that James Baldwin spoke about the unions in 1961 on television, 63 on 65. He spoke about them over and over again. The fact that they wouldn't let us into the unions. And here we are allowing the unions to be standard bearers again for our community and talking about us as people and how they care about us because they get. I said, yeah, really? Let me ask you something, unions. Why did Richard Trumka from the AFL-CIO speak so favorably about the police unions and the fact that they were being asked to leave by membership to disaffiliate the AFL-CIO with police unions because of the damage they're doing to the image of unions? And he spoke as favorably as he could. He backed them 100%. So I'll ask people who say, well, you know, the unions care about you. Well, here I am out here in this community right now, and you talk about putting Tesla in my backyard, and the unions, the first thing they do is come out and say, oh, no, you don't want that, they're going to hurt us. Hurt who? Because if Tesla brings jobs in my neighborhood and I ain't had no jobs, I don't give a damn about a union. I'm talking about my community. I've never seen you come out here and cut for me. So I ain't about that union piece. I'm not about that ally piece. I want to get right down to it because it gets personal for me. Because I asked an ally, quote, an ally, a friend of mine. I said, I need to have that out here so that my people can go to work. It can increase some revenue into the district, the school district that I live in. That's one of the poorest districts in Region 13, the Central Texas area. And I said it's going to put a minimum of $1.8 million back into our school district every year that we don't have. That we don't have. $1.8 million is, you know, almost 2% of our budget. An additional 2%. That's not counting anything else is going to do. 2%. I said I need that. My kids need that. So what I need you to do is either A, stand down. In my case, I said what I need you to do is shut the hell up or support what we're about to ask. He said, well, I can do such and such and so and so. I said, oh, really? Okay, I can support what you're just asking questions and, you know, get clarification. I guess that's not too bad. Anyway, he did it all. He seriously went up there and started shooting arrows in the piece. So that's what my ally did for me. He didn't give a damn. His principle stood in the way of me getting what I needed. His principle stood in the way. And it goes to the fact that a lot of people don't know how many things I've been involved in. Several years ago, I was a member of the Better Austin Today Political Action Committee backpack right here in Austin, Texas. Me and another gentleman by the name of Daniel Yanis were the only black faces at the table with 18 other people. And they were going to change the landscape and speak to the powers that be and hold people accountable. And they asked me while I was there, I said, I'm here to watch y'all. I'm going to make sure that what you do don't affect me and hurt me, because that's what happens every time y'all, you know, hold somebody accountable. I'm the one that suffers. So we did that for several years. And I said, I'm about to run for office. I need some help from y'all. Man, there were people at that table. There were environmentalists and, you know, anti-labor folk and anti-big business folk. It was all kind of folks sitting at the table. Anti-big government folk. It was libertarian-minded individuals. It was all kind of people at that table. I got ready to run for office. And the gentleman at the time I was getting ready to run was the president of the Sierra Club. Now, I've been doing work for the Sierra Club, doing environmental stuff. I've been fighting, like I said, I've been fighting everybody's battle. I've been fighting my battle, their battle. I've been carrying my water and their water. So when you need me, I show up. At least I used to. Even when I was sick. Even when I had cancer, I showed up for folks. I put signs out. While I had cancer, while I could barely move, I still put signs up. But I asked somebody to help me during my campaign. He was the president. And when the endorsements came back, I didn't get the endorsement of the Sierra Club. I said, say, Roy, what happened, son? The hell's the I. You the president. You ain't carrying no weight. You can't say this man's been fighting for us and the other person that you're supporting now ain't did shit for us in over 30 years. You couldn't say that. You didn't carry that weight. That person still ain't an environmentalist. I still got to fight for my environment every day. In fact, I know that when I talk about my environment, I know that I ain't seen none of y'all on my side of town in my backyard. But you couldn't support me. You couldn't make that happen. Because of some political bullshit. Okay. There's a woman running for state senate right now. She needed me. Not once, but twice. And she told me one time when I said, well, you know, you got a community liaison position that I would like to have. She said, you that job's not for you. You know, I said, really? Because I'm in the community every day. I'm liaison all day. She said, well, Richard, you know, the problem is you don't suffer fools lightly. I said, are fools supposed to be suffered lightly? Doesn't that do us all a disservice to allow for buffoonery and foolishness as part of the discourse? Shouldn't you be able to shut nonsense down so we can get to the meat of the situation and get it resolved? So that we can help people as opposed to wasting time, bloviating and pontificating about something that doesn't matter? Well, what I'm saying is, no, what you're saying is, you don't want to hire me because I'd make you look good. Except I'd make me look good, which you think would usurp your position. You don't want to have me in that position. But then you come back to me and go, Richard, I made a mistake. I should have backed you when you did such and such. When you ran, I made a mistake. And you did it not once but twice. Because I'm a forgiving individual. I've actually forgiven people for doing the transgressions and the way they trespassed against me. I've been really forgiving. You don't know how forgiving I've been. I could call names all day. So I let that go. This is the people with you that y'all think are your allies. They did a 10-1 thing a couple of years ago. And lay down a backdrop. She's libertarian-minded. She went out and had somebody else put money in my campaign when I ran. It was nice. Nowhere close to the amount of money that was promised, which I don't think. I didn't want to raise the issue. It was, you know, that $1,000 piece that here's $1,000. Oh, okay. Grateful. Thank you for that. Nothing of any consequence that would going to really make a difference when you're running campaigns that are $100,000 and the person that you're running is one of the money boys. Couldn't do anything with it, but that's cool. I was grateful because I do that. Thank you very much. But then I had a disagreement. I didn't win the election, but I had a disagreement on Facebook about the fact that this person was supporting Michael Bloomberg. I don't know if you know the history of Michael Bloomberg with stop and frisk and the people that he hurt in New York and how he's operated. But I wasn't having that. How dare you come out here and tell me that person's okay with me? Oh, by the way, that Joe Biden thing, I ain't about that either. I definitely don't like Donald Trump, but here's the problem, is you leave me no choices. Because racism in America leaves black people no choices. It doesn't give us any options. We have nowhere to turn. You're making the decisions about my life, and I have nowhere to go. And suddenly, when I say something about it, I'm being unreasonable. But when I jumped on that Michael Bloomberg thing, she said, you aren't grateful. You didn't. Really? I helped you with all your things also. Maybe you forgot how I helped you with what you did. That I didn't block walk when you were trying to get your petitions out there. That it was only a one-way street for you. Because you went out and found somebody that could give me $1,000. You didn't give me $1,000. Somebody else gave it through you. Because you directed them to my way. That's not how the allies think. So, another ally, one who came out here and said, y'all need health care. And they don't understand, I know when you're playing me. I know how you think you're using me. I know how to use you too. We were fighting about health care in my community. So this person came to me and said, Richard, health care, we need to file a lawsuit. I'm like, okay. Yeah, file a lawsuit, good. We can raise the issue of not having health care in my backyard. Not understanding that I knew that he was having a row with Kurt Watson, our state senator at the time, about a central health thing that they created, that there was no transparency in money, and this is about his tax money. It had nothing to do with me, because I hadn't seen him before that. I'm talking about we Central Health been in business for 10 years before this, and we didn't have no health care. But suddenly, when he wanted to get back at somebody about something, he's going to use me to make it happen. I don't give a damn. The enemy of my enemy is my friend today. But alliances change. That's what that ally thing is all about. And I can see where my alliances are all the time. When I ran for office, he told me, Richard, we don't want to get involved in anything that happens out there on the east side. We don't look like we don't have our fingers on the scale about the issues that are affecting eastern Travis County. So I'm not going to get involved in the race. That was back when a buffoon, straight up buffoon, I'm talking about losing it, buffoon was on the county commissioner's court and running again. So he didn't want to get involved with that because that was going to taint his name. But then a new person came up that they all got behind, and he got behind that one too. I think he think I may have forgotten what he said 4 years earlier. I didn't forget. I don't forget nothing and nobody. I don't think. And here's the funny part. None of you know what I've done or where I've been. None of you know how long my tentacles are or who I even talk to. None of them know. One day I'll tell you where I've been and who I am and how I've operated. And it's well beyond this nonsense at the local level. I've done a whole bunch of things nationally. So I don't really worry about it too much. Most of the things I fight, I don't even need. I don't even care about. I could have retired years ago and just chilled. But when you care about people, you fight for things that don't affect you. And when you say you're an ally, at some point in time, you got to realize when the person comes to you and said, I need your help, just help them the way they say they need help. You can't be an ally and make sure that the sacrifice you make is only to the point of what you allow yourself to be sacrificed. You've got to sacrifice something that's actually going to make skin in the game for you. I'm telling you. You can't call yourself an ally and not be willing to sacrifice something that's going to cost you.